Okay, this is my slideshow for Lab 3 for black holes and orbits. So in this lab, we had to use Ghost and we were given two different starter codes. One was with a black hole and a star, where we had to find the mass of a black hole by analyzing the star's motion. The other one was a star, a planet, and or wait, no, a planet, a moon, and a ship. And we had to take a spaceship so it would orbit around the planets without crashing by finding the initial velocity. Principles we used during this lab were Newton's second law to relate the net interactions between systems surroundings to the observed motion of the system, and then Newton's law of the universal gravitation, attractive non-constant force between two objects with mass. So for part one, this is the black hole mass, to find black hole mass. These are the formulas used. We use law of gravitational, universal gravitation. F net equals delta P over delta T, and then that's their gravitational constant. This is the code. You can see this is all my code that I use to find the to find the mass. So the bottom right one is all my calculation code and includes my arrows, and then also the top right one also includes the calculation. The procedure. So first we had to input the star mass, which was given, and then the delta T given. Then we changed the calculation portion of the code to calculate the mass of the black hole and the forces. Then we added arrows to show the forces that acted on the star. So these are two different pictures. It shows the beginning and then the end of the cycle, or well, the end of the basically. Well, it shows two different portions of the cycle, which just shows what the code would do. And the arrows pointed out the perpendicular force, or the perpendicular, the parallel, and then the net force. Results. Okay, the black hole mass was 1.5 times 10 to the 34 kilograms. 1.59 times 10 to the 34 kilograms. And we found that through the calculation, like in the past. It gave us a bunch of different things and we just averaged them. And then it says, so if the what's the difference between net force and parallel and and the rate of change? FNet is able to directly change the dp on dt parallel and perpendicular. The FNet component in the parallel direction will cause the magnitude of the velocity to change, while FNet in the perpendicular direction will cause the direction of the velocity to change, while FNet in the perpendicular direction will cause the direction of the velocity to change. Part two was orbit of the spaceship, and we used position update formula and velocity plus the law of gravitation. Here's the code. The procedure was to input the calculations for SF velocity and position, and that's shown by in our code with the bottom right one and then the top right one, and then change the initial velocity, which is at the top left or the left one, to change the initial velocity until the spaceship could complete its orbit successfully for a number of periods. And that shows the orbits being completed. That's the final result. Is the initial velocity had been 4.6 times 10 to the fourth power meters per second in the y direction. And if you imagine a system of it with a black hole in it instead of just a star, if you had a system that included all these different objects, the black hole would have a dominant interaction. Then the star would have the next highest dominant, then the planet, and then the moon. So basically, this biggest mass would have the largest interaction, and this moon would have the smallest mass. In the computational section, you would have to compute the forces acting on each object by the other objects. Okay, well, that's my thing. I think.